All right, so we are now recording and we can start the meeting. And
Robin, your camera just disappeared.
my camera disappeared. Okay,
Yeah.
I clicked the wrong thing. How's that?
You're back.
I'm back. All right. Now, amongst those people who've arrived thus far, if anyone would like to go first and request assistance in some regard with their WordPress site or to be WordPress site, I'd be happy to hear from them. We have Graham or Karel or Meg or a fellow by the name of Wandering Minstrel. So if any of those people, let me just see now, you can unmute.
Yeah, I can start if you wish.
Graham.
Graham. Yeah.
Right, and your microphone's live. Yes, please go ahead.
So I've been doing my own thing now for about 13 years, running my own blog website. And, you know, I'm teaching myself as we go. So I'm learning as we go. And I've always have little glitches here and there. And one of the little glitches I'm having right now is that my videos do not appear to be working. And I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi issue or if it is a my blog issue. So maybe I'll give you a link in the chat.
Sure. And what's not showing up? I was just distracted when you said that.
Videos.
Oh, videos. So videos are not playing where
Yep.
you expect them or have set them up to play.
So I'll put a link in the chat, but and I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi issue or not.
Why would it be Wi-Fi? Just, you mean it wasn't making the connection to the video server?
So if we look at that page I just put up, there should be a video on that page right under the word everything.
Everything.
So this is Beloved Brands.
Yep.
Right. So may I suggest you open up your site and show us the page in which the video is set up?
Yeah, that's the one I put on the, so.
Well, this is the page as it's displayed as opposed to the page from your point of view as the administrator.
Okay, so sharing my screen kind of thing?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, okay. But if you can see it, tell me, because
yeah, well, we're not going to be able to tell it from just looking here at the page, or perhaps someone else can see something that I don't, but I think we have to look at where the back end that sets up the video link. Now, has this video displayed as you want it to before?
Yep, for like 12 years. And now for the last month or so, it's kind of.
And where's the, just jumping the gun here a bit, what's the source of the video?
So it can
what server does it come from?
There's two different sources. One is YouTube for some of them.
But this specific one, though?
Both. YouTube or a thing called BunnyNet.
Right. But which one is it currently? I mean, it must be using one or the other, right? It can't use both.
I'm using both.
I didn't know you could do that.
Well, where I don't own it, I use YouTube.
Right.
So like an
No, but I'm saying that for this specific one in this the Beloved Brands video.
Yep.
Is that a YouTube video?
Both.
Okay.
So
I think we need to just look at the page itself.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be a Tim Hortons ad. And if you can see the screen, that's where the Tim Hortons ad would be.
Right, but aren't we looking at for the Everything a Marketer Must Know video?
You can see that one too.
Well, let's just deal with one.
Sure.
But it should be the marketing page.
There's a blank there.
Okay. Right, so let's look at this through the editor. What is this created by? Is this an Elementor page?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let's look at Elementor.
Graham, you mentioned that this worked up until about a month ago.
Yeah.
So the question is, what else changed around that time?
So, yeah, so I had, I don't know if you guys use Elementor, but I find it to be amazing and a pain in the ass, at the same time. And so they had an update that, then I had to, utilize some help from my GoDaddy, and then since then it's not been working so great. And then I sent it to, that's why I asked you guys to look at it from your own vantage, because I have people telling me, so there's the video there.
Okay, so the video, correct me if I'm wrong, you're displaying the page, editing the Elementor page, and the video is appearing,
Yep,
right?
it's right there.
About everything that a marketer
It's
must.
sourcing through YouTube.
Right.
Sure about the.
There it is there.
Up and spoke.
But if
Now,
I-
can you show us the settings for that video
Sure.
in that specific one? Yeah, just stay with the one for the
Yep.
time being.
So I've
Where's
got
the URL?
source
the
of
URL?
YouTube is, sorry, the source of that video.
Right. So just to be clear, for a given video, you only provide one link or one source, right?
Yeah,
Okay, just to be clear on that.
Yeah. and both of my types are not working, but we'll focus on the YouTube ones.
So there were elementary changes. And so that's the one specific difference between when they work and now they don't. Did they
Yeah,
work
it's about,
immediately after you tweaked this page because of the Elementor update?
So this is the other reason I'm saying I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi issue, because I was in a hotel about 2 weeks ago and then it was working.
It was working.
Well, I can't see it either.
Did you see that? You saw the link one too? Yeah. It's
But
blank.
I looked at the raw code of your page, and the YouTube link is being put into the HTML on your page. So the problem is that it's just not displaying for some reason.
Mhm.
It's actually on the page, but it's invisible.
Yeah.
You mentioned that GoDaddy support did something.
Yeah.
Do you know, did they explain to you what they did?
Yeah, so what they did was they went back to an older version of my my pages, but I don't know why that would have altered it.
So then it worked after GoDaddy and then stopped working again?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay,
It might have been a week later that I noticed it wasn't working for me. And that was,
other than reverting to a previous version of the site, did they say that you did they report doing anything else?
no.
Well, I must say that's a bit of a brute force fix, right?
So my
Now, what you could do is compare the sort of the old page with a new page to see what's different about it.
yeah. The only thing I can say is that well, what's the error in the console?
Quite a number of errors. Failed to load
Yeah.
resource, blocked by client, blocked by client.
Who's the client?
Well, I mean, typically the client is the recipient or the actor, sort of a user has interacting on the internet, like a client, an email client is what you read your email in. FileZilla is an FTP client.
Yeah.
A browser, in effect, is an HTTPS client. So when I read that, my first thought was it's a browser issue. Now, does it make any difference? What do you normally use to view your site? What browser?
I use both the Chrome's Google Chrome and the Apple version. I have both.
The Safari. Do you see any difference between the two?
Sometimes, but not in this case.
Not on this issue, because one, just by the way, I run into problems with with having extensions on Chrome
Yeah.
that can affect the display or affect how links work.
Yeah.
And so I test it by going to a version of Chrome that has no extensions on it, or use Safari.
I don't know what resync the Elementor library means.
Resync. Where are you getting that?
That's in the chat from Sanyam Jain.
Yeah, hello, good evening. So we can consider to resync the library of Elementor and maybe this error can get resolved. We will have to go back to the administrator and open Elementor tools.
I'm sorry, open Elementor what?
Elementor tools.
Tools, right.
Yeah. And just generate this files and data in sync library.
And I have done that. It takes quite a while though, eh?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Can you sync library?
Quite a while is how long?
Oh, it did it there.
So
Save.
one more sync library has to be done below that.
Oh, okay.
Wait a second. Okay, well,
Now you can save the changes at the bottom and just try to refresh the page and check. No, we have to view the page.
Yeah. Hold on.
no joy on the page that I'm looking at.
Yeah, still not there.
Okay.
Graham, I noticed that you're using a plugin called YouTube Embed Plus.
Yeah.
I wonder if there is a conflict between this plugin and the recently updated version of Elementor. You mentioned that you had an Elementor update.
Hold on a sec.
Huh.
Let's find my plugins.
Is this plugin replace what Elementor would otherwise provide for the video, or is it add to it somehow?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do I need the plugin?
Well, I think what Drew's heading for is, or let's put it this way, if the plugin's doing something which Elementor itself provides, then it would make sense to simply rely on Elementor and not use the plugin to eliminate one potential problem.
Yeah.
Or it may not be the answer, but diagnosing these things is working through, hopefully starting with the smallest change and then ending up with the largest and most generic change when all else fails.
So should I try to deactivate it for now and see what happens?
Well, do you know what exactly it does in regard to your page?
Well, I don't, because if we go back here, I think I added the YouTube thing like 10 years ago or so. I've always just had it. I don't even know if I have the pro version.
Well, one of the things that I find helps, if the thing that you're
Elementor
trying to
has
fix is basically form based, as would be an embedding of a YouTube video, then
Elementor has the embed the video.
right. But what I'm saying though is that it's essentially a form you fill out with the URL and whatever title you want for it and so on, is to try just building it again afresh.
Yeah.
and not even changing the existing one, just add it to the below the current one as a new video, but with the same YouTube URL, but built only out of the Elementor widget or parts in question.
Yeah, it's built out of the Elementor, but I didn't know if this,
Right, but if you
Plugin.
deactivate the plugin and then create an Elementor version that doesn't use that plugin because it's not
Okay.
running, and then if it displays, then the plugin is the problem. If
yeah,
it doesn't display, it doesn't eliminate the plugin, but it's just another step in the process. Drew, what do you think?
I think that makes sense.
and it is just trial and error, right?
Well, we like to give it a fancy name, iteration,
Iteration.
but it's trial and error.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, I'm not a technical person at all, but I've been doing this for 10 years.
You
Or
might
15.
like to know that most developers will go through the same process of diagnosing,
Yeah.
unless they have some prior experience that leads them directly to an answer. I've seen this problem before. Here's what we did to fix it. If it's not that situation, then they go through pretty much what we've just done.
Yeah,
So
let me see if it updates and see if that has any impact.
so this is a new video or the same video?
This is the same video, but I redid it, so to speak.
Right. So this is the new the same video in an Elementor only block or component without that plugin running,
And it's still not working there.
and you saved, right?
Yeah,
Are you running inspect right now on the page, Drew?
I am.
You see anything
Uh,
different in
Well,
that second block?
I can see, I'm looking at the first block actually, and I can actually see the outline of the block there.
Yeah,
But I'm looking at the
I
looking
see the
through
same, the outline of the
code,
block.
looking through the code to see anything that would cause it not to display, and I'm not finding anything in the CSS that would suggest that it wouldn't display.
Just as a side point, I'm just flipping through the tabs in the inspect window, and I stopped at sources thinking that I would find the YouTube URLs there. I don't know why they're not showing.
I'm seeing them.
This is in the sources tab of this page in question, right?
I'm looking in the elements tab.
Right, but if you're looking at the sources, wouldn't it be listed there? Shouldn't it be listed there?
Sources. I don't know. I'm still going through the elements, looking through the CSS to see if I can find anything in here that might.
this one's been driving me crazy for a couple of weeks now.
I can fully understand.
Well, I tried like 1,500 things. It seems it's like,
Right.
and as I say, I'm like,
Can you please share the YouTube video link on the chat bot? I wanted to just check something.
which share the link to the video.
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, oops.
Have you checked whether the community forums of Elementor have anybody complaining about videos not displaying as they expect? Graham?
No, I I have,
Please share it in the Zoom chat bot. I wanted
Yeah.
to check the video source.
there it is there. So it is,
Thank you.
no problem. So on YouTube, it is my YouTube page. Not that it's the best YouTube page in the world, but that's another story.
The first entry in the search, video not displaying in Elementor page says,
Do you want
to see Common
the
reason.
mark?
a
What's
common
that?
reason why your YouTube video is not playing in Elementor might be due to conflicts with your other plugins.
Yeah,
To deal with this, blah, 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 blah. It basically says, turn off all your plugins and try it then.
I have done that.
And no joy.
No.
Hmm.
That's why this is one of those. And then I was in a hotel like a week ago or 2 weeks ago and it worked. I'm like, okay, maybe it was just my Wi-Fi.
Well, sometimes the gods do strange things like that just to
know.
torment you.
I know. Ouch.
Okay, so you've been through all these steps, right?
Yeah,
So with all plugins off or deactivated, there's no change, right?
I did not see the change. No.
Okay, he says if the above steps haven't solved your problem, there's an easy solution that you can use. Right. It says try YouTube Feed Pro. As the best YouTube feed plugin in the market, it comes with a simple guided flow that'll take you through the whole process. You might want to check to see if there's a trial version of the YouTube Feed Pro to see if that will make a difference if we don't find the solution with you now.
Yeah.
There is another possibility. And that is if it's not a conflict with a plugin, the other major source of conflict is a conflict with the theme.
Right.
And there are a couple of theme tester plugins.
And I'm just using the hello one.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. That would be the one I was going to suggest.
Yeah.
Suggest testing with. Okay.
Yeah.
So if
That's the
anything
simplest
should
one.
if anything should work with Elementor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I switched it to I had bought this Sydney Pro like years ago, so I switched it to that and then switched back to hello and still didn't work any difference. Because that was one of the steps they say to do.
Graham, is that your sound coming on?
I don't know.
Saying what is your competitive something or other?
Not me. Maybe
Because
somebody
there's nobody
on the
else
call.
active right at the moment.
Yeah, but they could be on the call with the YouTube. I don't
Oh,
have,
right. Okay, so you,
I don't have it open. It's only there, but it's on, somebody might have the YouTube open.
yeah, but there's nobody's microphone that's active other than yours and mine.
Yeah.
The analytics, the key issues, strategies.
You're sure it's not playing on your machine?
We move on to the brand positioning.
No.
Draw out a consumer profile and use our benefits.
You know what? My apologies. When I clicked the link to go to that page, I didn't then go to the tab, and Google, or rather YouTube, insists on autoplay no matter what you do to it. So that was my mistake.
Well, my suggestion for further troubleshooting this, do you have Elementor Pro?
Yes.
Okay. Would be to create a test page that is just a blank page, put a video on it. And then create a support request with Elementor support, and let them turn off all of your other plugins, because it's looking like this is an Elementor bug. If it's not a theme, if it's not a theme conflict, and it's not a plugin conflict, which you've established by going through the correct procedure and turning off all of your other plugins, then the next likely thing is Elementor bug. And it's interesting that this appeared around the time of an Elementor update.
Yeah.
And this wouldn't be the first time that Elementor has broken something with an
Oh,
update.
I know. I'm on the, I go on the Elementor page and people, every time there's an update, there's 10 people complaining about it, screwing up their whole thing.
Yeah. Do they let you download a previous version?
I don't know. I have never tried that.
But that would be my next line of inquiry, is to see if they've broken something.
Well, that would be something to search for, whether it's from Elementor itself or some Elementor user that saves the versions of Elementor as they come out and can, provide you one. Given the fact that on the Pro version, you need a license, it wouldn't be a question of, you wouldn't be able to use the Pro plugin without a license. So that may be something that within the community forum at Elementor you can ask, but I would first search for whatever the previous version might have been, or just previous versions of Elementor plugin. I will just note, for what it's worth, that the search that I put in the chat window there, video not displaying an Elementor page, is pretty heavy with, hits. In other words, this seems to be an issue with Elementor that a variety of people have had.
Are they recent?
Well, I mean, the one that was very first, let's see what that was, dated January 3rd of this year.
That was about probably around when my problem was.
Yeah, but I mean, Google tends to be smart enough on search to bring the most current ones to the top of the list.
Yeah.
Drew, do you want to just briefly summarize your last point about create a new page, just so that Graham's clear on what you're suggesting and other people?
Yeah, just create a new test page on your site. You don't need to link it into any of the menus or something. Just something for Elementor support to look at.
Okay.
And the only thing that would be on this page would be a YouTube video. It can be that one you're testing or another one.
Yeah.
Then open a support ticket with Elementor support, since you can do this, since you have Elementor Pro, and they will go through the thing of turning off your plugins. And if that is in fact the problem, then then they should, if it is an Elementor bug, they should be able to track it down.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
Just out of curiosity, what version of WordPress you on?
Should be the latest.
Dashboard will tell you.
Yeah. Where does that tell you?
Right at the top. second item in the list on the left. Right.
Where are you seeing that?
It's so small I can barely see it. Hopefully you're on 6 something, right?
Also, could you scroll down a little bit so that we can see the site health? No information yet.
So
Can
nothing
you-
from the health status.
Yeah, could you click on the link with on the?
Can we
site
just get the
health?
version first?
Where is the version?
Uh,
Got the Elementor version.
no, it's the WordPress version. I just want to know whether you're on 6.0 or 5.9 or higher.
Where do I see that?
Well, it's usually, well, the page has changed on account of Elementor, but it's usually in the left column. Keep going down. Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. Bottom right corner. You're on 6.1.1. The reason I mention that is that you could, in addition to the suggestion that Drew made, is ignoring Elementor altogether. And even though you may not have any experience with blocks and the site edit and the block editor, if you could create just a simplest of pages that has the one block to embed a video, which you can find by searching for it and then drag and drop it onto the page and then fill out the, the details, that would make an interesting comparison. If that works, because in 6.1.1, you can have a page made out of just Gutenberg blocks, nothing else.
Okay.
And so that would be an interesting test, because if it displays, then it's Elementor's problem to solve. And if it doesn't display, then it's much more likely it's a theme related thing, because there's nothing to interfere with that page built out of blocks. Blocks are really simple in the sense that the limited sense that we're talking about them here.
Yeah, I've never had a problem before, so.
With what?
Elementor.
Right, but I mean, for the amount of time, the small amount of time to create that second version, it would be a worthwhile test, I think, to have, especially if it does display.
Yeah.
There's also an option to combine Elementor and Gutenberg blocks within Elementor pages, which you might, if you do get it to display in this bare blocks only page, or single block only page, then you have the option of simply copying that block into your Elementor page. Although, to tell you the truth, I know that Elementor will work with blocks. Google first just to check the instructions.
Yeah.
There may be rare exceptions or whatever, but yeah, well, you're almost there.
Yeah.
Good for you. I mean, normally Elementor people are loath to know anything about the block editor.
Yeah, I did block editor for a while. Probably, as I said, I think I've been doing this 13 years now. So it's about probably 7 years with Elementor, which was probably even before.
Okay.
Would it show, or do I?
Yeah, why not? Sure. I mean, if you filled it out, and then just you can even save it as a draft and then publish it. Well, yeah, preview, I guess, is what is a better term for it. But save it and then preview it.
There it is.
Of market.
So now we know it's an Elementor issue.
Well, no, I mean, maybe just copy that block, which is pretty straightforward, right? You just get that toolbar that hovers from the editor, copy block, and then go over to your Elementor page and paste it in. You might want to make a copy of your Elementor page just to
You
be
mean I can
super safe.
copy
The copy block,
that?
right? Now,
Getting
you know,
this-
maybe make a copy of your Elementor page or the test page and treat it as a test page. Well, as you like.
Oh, see that? How do I put it? How do I put a block into Elementor though?
Good question. That we have to find out how you mix the two. I know that it can be done. I just don't know the exact details because I haven't needed to do it.
Okay.
So let's go to Mr. Google. Add block to Elementor page. Site, or rather. Block. Okay.
Would it be a code or anything?
Says, okay, from the search that I just ran, says, go to the WordPress repo and search for Elementor blocks for Gutenberg.
Okay.
Install and activate the plugin in the Gutenberg editor, add the Elementor block. And then it may be that you paste your video block into the Elementor block if the rest of the instructions confirm that. It does say Gutenberg blocks can be easily inserted into Elementor.
Oh, they can.
But you need the reusable blocks extended plugin.
And you can just copy paste the HTML if you want in the block.
In theory, yeah, sure. I mean, you
Wait,
know how to do that, Graham?
no,
It's
do I-
very-
is it a
You go to
code?
this,
or-
oh, sorry, go ahead, Sarian.
Sorry. Go back to the block page, the other page which you have created.
This one?
Right,
Yeah. Yeah, just on top. Can you scroll up? Yeah, and the three dots over here. Yeah,
Top right
you can
corner.
say edit HTML. Go down.
Edit is, where's, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
right here. You can copy paste this code if you want to. Try this.
the whole thing?
Yeah.
And
so that's the
then-
beauty of the WordPress of these blocks is that they're just HTML.
And
Certainly.
just anywhere in here?
No, add an HTML block.
HTML block, where, I see that in here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
HTML
in the
block.
search. Well, actually, no, you're in the Elementor blocks. Right, I mean, okay, so
This one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep,
And where do I put it in here?
Yeah.
yep.
Right there.
And then what do I do? Just,
well, you should be done, right?
but it's,
Save it and view it. Wait a second. All we see there is the
yeah.
URL, but it is the whole paste, right? Yeah.
Let us preview and see if it works. I'm not sure.
Let me get rid of this guy here.
One
Yeah.
more thing we can consider to do is to roll back
Should be
Elementor version.
crucial.
Yeah, it's just showing the
Mhm.
link there. It's not,
Yeah. I don't think this will work.
I'm surprised that didn't work.
yeah, what went wrong here? These other two are separate lines. Is that a problem?
I don't know why the URL displays in that block, because that is not the case in the test page that uses, that is a standard Gutenberg block for the video embed, right? If you go back to the visual editor,
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't display the URL, it displays the video.
yeah, exactly.
So we're not doing something right, but I did put in the chat window, add block editor block to Elementor page. And that has these several plugins which enable a Gutenberg block to be used. And personally, I would start there because we know that works in terms of the Gutenberg block. So it's not a theme related problem, right?
It seems to be a Elementor problem, though.
Right.
We can consider to roll back one version of Elementor and just check if needed.
The issue is that I have probably 300 or 400 videos links in my site.
Mhm.
So I don't want to do one by one when maybe I could just send this to, I think your earlier point, send it a ticket to Elementor and say it's working in Gutenberg, not in Elementor.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Because I got
And I do specifically mention that, you want to make sure that whatever fix they come up with can be readily applied to the several hundred
yeah,
videos that you have in your site.
yeah,
Because that may mean they'll give you a script or something to run within the database
yeah.
that could update those blocks or the Elementor components, update them systematically.
Yeah, or
But
there's
if you roll back to one version, it will be implemented for the entire website. So you don't have to do it.
yeah.
Mhm.
There's been a few versions since though, right? It's 6.115 and
No, not the WordPress rollback. I
I'm-
meant to say Elementor. We
Yeah, I'm
do
talking-
that all the time.
oh, I know, I'm talking Elementor though. Just
Okay,
because
so,
there's,
3.11, no, we can go back to 3.10.
I know, but I
Mhm.
think it was 3.10. And then there's
No,
gonna be,
Actually, I saw
I know.
3.11 on your dashboard.
I know, but then there's gonna be other things that I'm just saying it
Ah.
might cause more problems than maybe I'll just do a ticket with Elementor.
All right, sure.
Yeah,
There is a specific Elementor post, or at least article, called Rollback to Previous Version of Elementor.
yeah,
And as well,
It,
in this
it's a-
particular search, how to download an old version of Elementor.
no need to do, it's just a one-click work. It can, Elementor does it automatically.
Right, but it
You
only
don't-
goes back one version.
No, it can go back to any version.
Okay,
You see, if you go to the tools, I'll just show you.
sure, let's just take a quick look at that, make sure
Yeah,
Graham then knows.
yeah. I just
can
think it's gonna cause me more problems in the future because we're gonna go to 3.2 and 3.3.
Right, no, but it's a question of while you're, it's another option to make note of.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
But certainly try Elementor support because it offers the potential to solve the problem across the site.
I get it.
Yes, certainly.
This is one of the biggest WordPress headaches is updates breaking stuff.
Yeah. They do far too many of them. 3.115, 3.116, 117, like enough. And I got, when you got 30 plugins or 40 plugins, like. You get
Well,
like,
without, beating a drum unnecessarily, that is one of the appeals of the Gutenberg paradigm, is that it is likely to reduce the number of plugins, in some cases by half or more.
Yeah.
And then it is the WordPress core updates, which are moderately tested, but it turns out that the Gutenberg plugins testing is probably more extensive than any other, software product being made right now. I mean, they gave out the number the other day of 180,000 people are likely to test the current version of Gutenberg over the next 2 weeks. And no one else has that number of testers, in the real world. So what that means is that there's the potential to have fewer bugs of the kind that we're looking at right now.
I'm sure there are, but I got 209 pages on.
No, I'm not suggesting you change. I'm just commenting on the fact that
Yeah.
this headache becomes more intense, the more complex your site is, the more more potential there is for these conflicts. Okay, so shall we leave you to it then, Graham?
Sure, yeah,
Hopefully we've given you a little
Something.
moral support as well as a few sort of ideas to follow through on.
for sure.
If you think this has been worthwhile, leaving a comment in the comments section of the page will be an encouragement to other people who are scratching their heads and, you know, have had many years of do-it-yourself learning experience.
Yeah.
Or at least they're, what's the word for someone who's self-taught?
An autodidact.
Right. You, thank you, Drew. Most of us are autodidacts in terms of WordPress. All right, so let's move on. Who would like to go next of the people who are in attendance?
I have a kind of an interesting situation myself.
Fire away.
So I inherited a WordPress site from an administrator that is terrible and shall remain nameless. And you know, when we left them that relationship, they handed me a bunch of passwords and Bob's your uncle. So me being very inexperienced with WordPress, yeah, I inherited a back end that was full of like mysteries and just like I'm like, I open up this Pandora's box and I'm like, what even do I do with this? So I didn't even know where to start when I found this group. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a million questions. So I'll make it as simple as possible. And this might be helpful for folks who might have a similar setup to my own. Sorry if you can hear my baby crying in the background. He's having a hard time going down. But yeah, I'll share my screen. And basically, one of the kind of more difficult challenges that I'm dealing with right now is, you know, we have a fairly basic website front end. So the website itself is coopzone.coop, which I put in the chat. And you'll notice, you know, you click on it, it's fairly straightforward. There's a few pages. There's, you know, a members tab, training program tab, news tab, and about us. All very simple, very easy for me to edit. That's fine. As soon as we start talking about like the membership element, that's where I'm completely mystified. And so I can run like payments through they've set up a payment system where memberships can pay for their membership, but even then it's not set up well. Like it doesn't expire, so I still haven't configured it to behave the way that I want it to. But the biggest kind of mystery for me is when a member does log into our portal, I don't really know how to manipulate what they see and what they access. So I'll show you the back end to show you what I mean. So let me just I'm going to cancel out of this here, and I'll share my screen. Okay, so what I have is, this is distracting. What I have is I think a Kalia. There's some kind of plugin.
That the Kalia is your theme?
Yes, okay. And then when like the edit page function, I never use because it doesn't work. I have to use a page builder in order to change things.
Okay, could we have a look at your list of plugins, please?
Of course. So I think I go to dashboard.
Drew, have you looked at the theme? Have you got the URL for the theme?
I haven't, I've got the name of it, but
And what was the name again?
Kalia.
Kalia with a C?
This one up here.
Oh, okay. K-A-I-L-Y-A-S?
K-A-L-L-Y-A-S. Yeah.
K-A-L-L-Y-A-S.
Yeah, and I have no idea what any of that, like, I don't know what that means to have a theme, except for that it there's a certain way that I need to edit pages, I guess.
Okay, could we have a look at your list of plugins?
So plugins.
YAS, right?
Okay. All right, and if you could scroll down a little bit, please. Lots of Gravity Forms stuff. Import users, paid membership pro. Okay. All right. So that's your membership plugin.
Yes. And I see it's out of date. I'm afraid to update anything, obviously, because of, you know, what we just discussed, how updates break things.
What host do you use?
I don't know what that means.
Who is the, where is the site being hosted?
Oh, okay. Domain.coop, I believe. Does that sound like a thing?
No.
It's Montreal, Quebec, and it's iWeb Technologies Incorporated.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna write that down because I have no idea what that means. iWeb.
Sorry, what was that again, Jack?
If you do a Hoverify or built with, you'll see that for the hosting, it's iWeb Technologies Incorporated. The IP is 209.172.50 and 74.
Anyway, so paid membership pro is what my membership kind of functions, how they work. And then so when I am a member and I'm logged in, you know, this is all that really happens is there's like this directory that you can always see. There's the forum and then there's resources. But when it comes to like changing, I don't see any option for, you know, changing my profile. Like I don't see any options for that I would normally expect to see if I'm a member and I log into a site and I clearly there's something missing that I need to change.
Right now you're logged in as the administrator, right?
I'm logged in. So I've logged in as, yes, I guess technically, yes, I'm logged in.
Okay, so one answer may be that you have to be logged in as a member to see, to have the option to create a profile and edit the profile. But why don't we look at users for a moment?
Yep. Okay.
I'm
reluctant to.
Now, the reason I asked about the host was that if your hosting plan provides for staging, that is an option which enables you to create a site, a copy of your site that is only for your use, that you can then update freely.
Okay.
And if it breaks anything, or when it breaks anything, you just throw out that copy and make a new copy without any effect on the site, the production site, the site that people see.
Okay.
So it's a mechanism to avoid the risk of a problem to the site that runs.
Okay. I'm just going to unshare my screen because I'm wary of sharing my screen when I have membership data on my screen. So I'm just going to unshare and find a page so you wanted to see users. Right,
just to see, presumably there's a member role, an admin role, and so on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there is.
Just to check that there's nothing strange or unusual about it.
That's right. Yeah. So there's like subscribers. It's all these subscribers that have this role as a member.
So in other words, they're called subscribers, not members.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we call them members. Yeah.
Right.
And then there's 3 different types of members, and that. Yeah, and
right. Have you created a login for yourself as a member?
I should have one. Yeah, let me just double check.
Anyway, that's just a quick way to check the profile question.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought that I was logged in as a member, but maybe I was not. Maybe what I'll do is,
because presumably members as such can't see the plugin page or the, you know, the back end from the dashboard, right?
Well, of course, exactly, yeah. Okay, so let me see what happens if I try to log in as myself. I'm just gonna share my screen again. So that you see
Jack,
what
can
I'm
you
doing.
check that host and find out if they offer staging?
I'll do a quick search.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I guess I have to remove myself as administrator if I want to actually see.
Well, you're not removing yourself, you're just switching from one login to another.
Well, yeah, so this is, anyway.
There is a plugin actually that developers use that just enables you to quickly switch from one role to another so that you can test something you're working on. You might find that handy.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a profile page.
Yeah, this is the profile page. So I guess this, am I to?
I mean, you could just fill it out with whatever so that you can then view it and see if it satisfies, you know, what you think the profile page should have. And
Yeah.
then there should be some option somewhere to revise the profile page.
I think this is what that is.
I
I'm
have
just
one
looking at
point
the
here.
paid memberships pro site. The link for which I just put in the chat. Restrict content, manage member subscription with recurring payments, user registration, custom profile fields, and robust member management.
Meg, it's worth going to that site because they have a good documentation section there, which can show you how to do things in Paid Memberships Pro.
Sounds like that's probably what I should be doing. Yeah.
And it does say 100,000 active installs, which is pretty decent. I mean, I'm not sure what the other membership plugins are at, but everyone would agree that 100,000 is a quite respectable number, if not a leading number.
Sure.
Which is one of the best forms of assurance. The other is to check the ratings for the plugin on the WordPress, you know, plugins repository, and just see if anybody's gone crazy, you know, with problems or issues. Probably not likely to be the case, but you know, for the 3 or 4 minutes it takes to go and have a quick look, it's something you should be comfortable quickly returning to when you have a question, on the off chance that somebody's had that same problem.
Okay.
Now, it says over 60 premium add-ons to extend and customize. I guess those are extra costs, probably. Unlimited levels of pricing, customizable reports, and it sounds like pretty much everything you'd want to have seems to be available, at least in terms of their marketing.
Yeah, that's almost the problem. It's like,
right. So what's the most important thing that you'd like to be able to fix?
I think that's a good question. I think, yeah, you know what? Because this is a very specific plugin, I have a feeling you guys would take, like, I will be taking just as much of your time as if I just like go and figure it out on my own.
Well, you could go and see what you can do, you know, become familiar with the plugins, online documentation, the reviews and comments in the WordPress forum, on the plugin, Googling for one of the issues that you have or concerned about, and then come back and, you know, then you are able to say, well, you know, this issue was written up here and I tried that, it didn't work, or it did work, or whatever it is. But your general familiarity with the way the plugin works is quite important just to navigate through a session with a group like ours, where you want to, let's go to the plugin pages, let's go through which are all just forms, right, to do things. But there should be definitely something in the way of page builder-like capability to drag and drop things onto a page, to add them, and then you click on them and there should be some styling options that are right on board when you park, drag and drop something into it.
Mm.
Most page builders are quite similar to the Gutenberg site editor in terms of blocks and drag and drop and a list on one sidebar of the blocks or components or widgets, whatever you want to call them. And then on the right-hand side, the styling specific to the component, block, module, whatever. I just started to use a plugin called Seed Prod, which is reputed to be quite a good, sort of newly popular page builder that rates quite well. And I was struck just by how similar it is to the Gutenberg experience, as well as other page builders with block-in like. Well, which is to say, Gutenberg hasn't invented a number of things. It's just we adopted them as the best practice in a certain respect. So it's not like those guys are so brilliant as much as it is all of us are moving steadily in one direction, or at least in many parallel directions that are not terribly dissimilar.
Meg,
I found one thing that you can help me with, actually.
Excellent. Just a second, Drew, did you have something?
Yeah, there are quite a number of tutorial videos on YouTube for Paid Memberships Pro.
Great.
Can you drop the link for the search that you did to come to that
Sure.
conclusion? I'm more thinking not so much of Meg, but of people who watch our YouTube video.
Yeah.
They do tend to be, I wouldn't say lazy, but I do publish the chat transcript so that people following our YouTube video of this session can quickly go to whatever we're talking about.
Makes sense. Yeah, so this is one thing that I just noticed that I'm like, oh, I gotta fix that. So the contact us button here is wrong, and I don't know how to fix it. This is something very simple that you
Yeah, two things just to bear in mind, that whatever you do here, you want to be assured that the change you're making is site-wide as
Yeah.
opposed to on this one page,
Yes.
because that would then force you to go to every page with that. So
Yeah.
you know where you are, just where you were about
Yeah.
to click that contact button.
Yes.
You know if that edits the contact button site-wide or for this individual block.
It would be this individual block.
Is there an option to make it go further?
I don't believe so, but I have no idea.
Is there, well, you might just put on your list for the plugin. Is this a plugin generated page or a page apart from what the plugin's doing?
That's a good question. I think this is like the main page. So.
Right, which you could change as a one-off, except that if you've been using this button elsewhere, you want to check for whatever block you're using for that button. Because in the Gutenberg scheme, for example, buttons are blocks. But there's, generally speaking, in page builders, an option to save a change so that that change is replicated throughout the site automatically.
Right.
I don't believe
that, like, I would be very surprised if this button exists anywhere else, I guess.
Okay, so you're free to do it then here.
Yeah.
Um,
and yeah, I basically just need to change this because it's wrong. Michael Norris.
okay, so click on the edit button.
Yep.
Wherever that is.
Edit options.
Yeah.
I missed which page builder we were using here.
I have no idea. All I know is page builder. That's it.
Okay, well, let's find that out because, well, wait a sec. For button options, where's the URL?
That's the thing, right? Like I went on here and I was like, I don't understand like how this works.
Well, is the link to go to a contact page?
No, the link opens up a window like this.
Right, but why do you want that? Why not go to the contact page and let them fill out a form?
I don't want any such thing. I just want to fix this one thing.
No, but what I'm saying though is you could do this, and then when you the pop-up appears, the user clicks on the pop-up and that takes him to his mail client, right?
Right.
And pre-fills the addressee
Yeah.
and so on.
Yeah, we could create something like that.
Otherwise, the
interim,
URL link is just mail to
Yep. I understand that.
:/ and then the email address.
Yeah, I understand that. My only, like, that's a whole thing that I could do.
Well,
I'm
what's the
aware of
problem
that.
then?
This is wrong, so I need to change this.
Right, but you just opened up the panel,
Uh-huh.
right? And so that panel should have had that info at whatever, right?
How did we even get to that page where the request for the contact request was on?
It's the main page.
Oh, okay.
But it should be the content button, Meg.
Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it?
Right, you should attach a link to the button, right? So if you click that first icon there, it'll be expecting a URL.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Which
it's
you're
just
not
this
going to give
number.
it because you don't want to use a contact form, which is fine. Then you just remove that hash character.
Okay.
And I guess what, guys, just mail to and then the address?
So you're saying that if I
Is
just
that- is
change
that-
this,
So Drew, what do you think should go here? Just the mail to?
I'm not sure where that pop-up is coming from.
exactly.
Why wouldn't it be the panel we're looking at right now?
Well,
'Cause
because
it
I
isn't.
don't, because I don't see that information there.
Exactly.
So,
It's
I
a
wanna
pop-up
s-
builder. There's one of the plugins is called Pop-up Builder, and it is got its own UI associated with creating pop-ups, etc.
Okay. And
So
so
that's a plugin that is on this site?
Yep.
that's what I thought, but I don't know. So is this it? Because I have no idea. Like, this whole thing is like like, I hate.
Well, let's go. I would go to the plugins page and then go to the plugin,
Okay.
this pop-up plugin. And if it has a sub menu
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
to build something, then go there,
Okay. So plugins.
install plugins. Okay, let's find the one.
So pop-up builder. Oh, look at that.
Right.
Yeah, this is, see, like, this
Isn't
is
that
this-
awful
this is-
garbage that these guys throw in? That
Well, and I-
seed prod plugin that I mentioned earlier is infested
Yeah.
with prompts to spend money, please. Begging, constantly begging. You just want to feel sorry for them. Except that's nuts.
Okay, so this is it.
Let's
Dad,
open it.
okay, thank you. This is the mystery solved. See,
Why would that be necessary, guys? I mean,
Thank you.
right, because it's so strange to have that form of contact that you need a plug-in to be able to go back in time
like,
to
this is
some
the
period
thing.
where that was the right way to do it.
This is the thing, is like, whoever, like, the people who designed this site wanted it to be this nonsense. Like, it's, anyway. Okay, this is very helpful. Thank
Meg,
you.
I think this site might be a candidate for a rebuild. and
I love that you said that, because I'm kind of agreeing with you almost.
There's
Kind of agree or what?
Ion builder. Wonder what that means.
My only issue is, yeah, the membership aspect. You know what? Yeah, that's a whole conversation. But yeah, this has been
Well,
helpful.
that membership plugin you've got is actually one of the best ones. They're pretty good. So that's something I would definitely keep.
Mhm.
But a lot of this other stuff, like this pop-up builder, I think
Yeah.
could be ditched.
Well, it just is so strange to
It
see
is.
something other than the use of a contact form, because there's real value in learning something about the person, contacting you about what they want,
Of course,
which that plug-in pop-up thing can't do.
exactly. Yeah, there. This was
But a
just somebody's
rebuild,
playbox, basically.
when you can, other than the membership plugin and learning it through the documentation, tutorials and so on, if you stop and sort of figure out what you might spend learning about the rest of the site, then Drew's point about a rebuild really takes on, you know, some serious force, because it would be so much better if you have to learn the new thing that's going to work well for now and the future, rather than the old thing, which may or may not still be valuable a year or two from now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, this was helpful. Just to know that one thing, that like there's just so much
Isn't it nice though,
layers.
when by one means or another, an irritating thing turns out to have a simple solution?
So
Absolutely.
Meg, now that you've removed that thing, when I click on the contact us, basically nothing happens.
Yeah,
It just-
exactly. That's what I figured. So I have to go back in there and fix that,
And
which
put
is,
something in, yeah.
yeah. But like Robin said, it makes sense to create a quick form. Or
Well, and you've got Gravity Forms, which is one of the leading form builders, and they are, you know, just another kind of page builder. And so should enable you, it shouldn't take you long.
Yeah.
Especially if your templates are usable, to create a contact page. People are quite accustomed to seeing a contact page, and your site would sort of throw half of the people who clicked on that button wondering, well, what's this? What do I do now? Well, they obviously try to click on something. But personally, I dislike being taken to my email client for something which is normally done on site. And it does mean that a significant percentage of people won't come back to the site immediately after sending the email,
right.
because other things happen or whatever. But if they go to a contact form, there's a little better chance that they'll stay on site and be engaged.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, thanks so much. I'll feed my chair to the rest of
And
the.
Meg,
Do
and
make
one
a
more-
make a comment in our event page, because that really encourages other people to check us out.
Will do.
Meg,
Drew,
one
you
more
had
thing thing I noticed is, and I clicked on the subscribe to our newsletter link, and on the form that comes up, it asks your email address, first name, last name, province, and company. One of the things you'll find is that for every extra field that you ask for on a form, the fewer people will fill it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Need to trim that out.
And so for a newsletter, the only thing you absolutely need is the email address.
Completely
So
agree.
if you remove some of those fields, I think you'll find you'll get more subscribers.
Yeah, good advice.
I mean,
Thank you.
really, is there any need for anything other than the email address? Because really what you want to do is just capture that at all costs, right? And then once they're subscribers, pound away to your heart's content to collect more information if you want, but get them on board first. Now, Jack, did you find out about staging at the host?
iWeb Technologies is actually a hosting that is now part of LeaseWeb, which is a US company and hosting service. And so it's unclear as to who's running the show, so to speak. Is LeaseWeb as owners of iWeb Technologies setting the cloud services set up, or are users that signed into iWeb Technologies able to use their own selected hosting service? Very unclear as to what those two things are doing, so to speak.
Thanks, Jack. Meg, what I would do is email your support at your host and just say, does my plan include staging? And when just the word staging is all you need to say, because it's a straightforward sort of thing from a server point of view. If staging is available, that's the answer to worrying about plugin updates, especially with as many as you've got, because you can do that to the staging site. And then, you know, as I say, if it blows up, well, you know, just hit the delete button.
Very good advice. Thank you.
And then if they don't offer hosting, there are plugins specifically to enable you to do that. But it's much easier if it's like most sites that offer staging, it's a one-click affair. Click once and then bang, they give you the staging site link. You go there and there's your site ready to go.
Awesome.
Okay, who would like to be next? I see Sandra has unmuted herself. Sandra, are you going to step up?
Yeah, sure. I have a couple of quick questions. Hopefully you guys can answer for me. One is, what do you like to use for backing up a site? Which plugin do you like, a free version one or a paid one? What is the best thing to choose to back up your site on WordPress?
Drew, do you want to lead off?
Well, sure. One of my go-to products would be Updraftplus.
Yep.
It's pretty simple to use and it's free.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that distinguishes paid from free plugins are the number of cloud services that you can back up to. They might give you, for example, one or two, like Google, maybe. You can back up to your, Google Drive.
Okay.
But then to get OneDrive or to get Dropbox or to get, any one of the other, to get the one that you have, if
Right.
that might not be in the list, you have to go to the paid version. The
Okay.
second point I'd make is check your host.
Okay.
Most hosts offer backups, and depending on the plan you've got, it
Yes.
could be nightly backups that are retained for a month, say, which is quite good,
Right.
or fewer and less frequent, which is not so good. Even some of the inexpensive plans offer backups, which you can invoke or generate just by clicking a button for a backup now.
Right.
So that
Okay.
whatever the frequency of the post normal backups, if you're doing something and you want to be extra careful, you can click the the host
Backup
backup
now.
button manually.
Right.
And then bear in mind, as a third point, the more features in the backup plugin, the finer the grain that you can work with in terms of what you're backing up. It doesn't have to be back up the entire site. It could be back up the database or back up pages and posts or back
Right.
up, some portion of the site that encourages you to back up more because they're smaller and faster.
Yeah.
But
Right.
also, if your backup's limited to what you're actually working on, everything is just simplified as a result.
Yes.
You're backing up less and you're potentially restoring less, which is a good thing.
So I should start first with my
Host.
my host and see about what they have for backup.
Yeah, I would go ahead though with Updraft or a similar one in
Okay.
any event, because that will give you your own, just to simply have and know what to do with it.
Okay.
It gives you options which the host doesn't provide. Like you
Gotcha.
could schedule, periodic backups on a, frequency that you decide, daily, hourly, weekly, whatever.
Okay.
So the advantage of the plugin is the control it gives you over the process, which is like an on-off switch at the host. It's on with whatever frequency they provide, or it's not on.
Right.
Your own
Yes.
plugin makes you the person in charge.
Yes. Okay.
One
Okay.
other,
The last sort of tip, I think, is that, and it's a lesson that I learned painfully, is that if you've got a big media library, that can turn out to be 90% of your backup. And therefore, an entire WordPress site is something like 60 megabytes, but you can have hundreds of megabytes worth of media files, especially if they're videos.
Right. Yes. The more
And so
videos.
when you get to a lot of videos, the best practice really is to store them outside of your site
Yes,
and then link that way so
Yeah.
that your backups aren't constantly being clogged by these humongous files. So,
perfect.
and then I think someone who put in here Vivid, WpVivid is also an excellent product and well regarded. So that's
What's it called?
another option.
WpVivid?
Yeah, there it's in
Okay.
the chat window.
Thank you. Oh, right. So, okay, great.
It's also worth noting that you really do want to have a backup that saves the files off of your host, because if you ever lose access to your hosting account, you can lose not only your site but also your backups if the backups are sitting on your host, and if you're using your own host's backup system. So that's
Okay.
why I always use one of the backup plugins that will make a backup to a secondary location.
Right, you have the option, in addition to the cloud, of course, to back up to your local machine.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
if you have the disk space, I just bought a new terabyte SSD drive, and in part because, I mean, our backups become humongous, but it's just really convenient to have one locally.
Yes.
A bit of sort of comfort in the fact that you completely control it. And with the prices of SSDs these days, it becomes a lot more feasible than it was a while ago. But Drew's point, though, about having a copy part from the host, just to be safe, is
Yeah.
the same point that I was making more generally, that when you're in control, you decide where to store it and at what frequency, and whether it's a whole backup or some part. I might also mention that there are quote unquote backup plugins, but plugins that deal with migration, for example, or duplication are generally speaking backup. The backup mechanism is used in a variety of plugins that aren't necessarily called backups. I only mention that because you might wonder why some plugin that you got or read about includes backup. Well, it's because the same processes are involved in migrating a site as
Yes.
backing it up.
Yeah.
Because what are you migrating but a backup
A
copy of the
backup.
site?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Right. Okay. The other crazy question I had is about themes. So I've had a couple of different WordPress sites over time, and they have a theme and they had, content. And then I had a different website, had a different theme, different content, so forth. But if you have a website that's already set up, can you change the theme? And if you do, does that import the information that's already on the pages, or your best just to start all over again is to create a whole new website?
guys, who would like to pick that one up?
Tough question, I guess I asked. Tough question.
No, it's really a question of just going first or not. Jack, would you like to take a try at it, or Sanyam, or if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, do you want to have a swing?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, you said it right, Sanyam. So there are two things to consider on that. It is when you're using a theme, normally a theme would come with a certain builder, So
Right.
if the theme is independent of the builder. If the theme is independent of the builder, then your chances of changing the theme is much higher without, breaking the website. But if
Right,
the
okay.
theme is coming with a builder, which is, proprietary to the builder, then you may face problems.
Okay.
Like moving out of an Elementor website, with
Okay.
some other builder is very difficult. Likewise, B theme is very popular, but it comes with another builder. But in that builder is independent of B theme. So you can, so if you continue to use that builder, you can change the theme. So it all depends on how you are creating the content. Now, if you use the default builder and use a theme, then you can just simply switch over the theme with some minor changes. You can update the website.
Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't sure whether you could just do that or whether you had to go, never mind, just start again.
No, definitely not starting again necessarily. Now, I just put in the chat window the links to two of the WordPress learning workshops. And the first one was actually has 2 sessions that day. This is for the 11 o'clock one, but there's a one later in the day. How to confidently migrate from a classic theme to a block theme. Well, that may not be the priority you have. So another one, which is this week as well, is updating a blog's design, part 1. Have you ever wanted to update your site's design, but wondered exactly what that would entail? It sounds so daunting. So maybe you wanted to watch somebody else do it first before you try. If so, then this online workshop is for you.
Okay.
That's the second link that I gave you,
Second link, okay.
right?
Right.
And they're free. And they, generally speaking, are pretty good quality. Some of the speakers or presenters are superb.
Mhm.
But of course, like everything in life, that's not the norm. But the average is pretty high quality. They are also vetted by WordPress people. And so therefore, probably more reliable than Meetups or
Gotcha.
tutorials on YouTube, because of the number of people who check the content before it's allowed to be turned into a session. And then
Okay.
most people either have to, in effect, be trained, or they get a sidekick who is trained as a trainer. So they're good places to start, and they give you confidence that what you're going to try is something doable. And if you just
Yes.
look over the shoulder of the guy sitting next to you, the standard way we all learn things, this is the equivalent of it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Yes, and of course, I'll mention the same thing that I mentioned earlier. Do post something in the comments on this page that you gave this a try and it was worth the effort, or you got a few tips, or boy, I had to wait a long time to have my chance, or whatever. Anything that you have to say, I'm sure would be appreciated. Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to ask? Okay. The Wandering Minstrel has unmuted himself. Mr. Wandering, would you like to tell us your question?
We can't hear you. There's something wrong with your sound.
Yeah, because your audio is showing active.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better.
Now we can, yes.
Okay, perfect. Good. All right. So I have an existing website, and I'm also building a new website. So I had someone worked on my site for me, and this is, I don't know if you can see that.
Not yet, but can I just interrupt for a second? Do you have something else playing in the background right now?
Something else playing, like what?
Well, we're hearing a background.
Oh, I own a music school, so.
Oh,
Sure.
Music lessons, that's what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, so, shoot, that's not what I want. Cancel.
Yeah, if you want to put your link in the chat.
Okay, so,
and
well,
that way we
this,
can
I don't
look
know
at
if you
the
can
page.
get this, okay. Can you see this at all?
Not yet.
Okay, so I hit share screen, but I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll try again. This is the one I want here. Okay, so that's what I want to share. Oh,
Success.
okay, good.
You could, if you wished, enlarge the browser to sort of fill the screen. I think you chose your desktop rather than your browser window when you did the share screen. So why don't you try it again and stop sharing and then just look for that one window.
Right, that's what I did. I had it on the screen, but
Right.
you know what? I'll just close all the other ones and then that won't.
Or just make sure that the window you want is in the middle of your screen
Okay,
at the forefront, and then that's where you go on the share.
okay, I'll try that for you.
I often have that problem.
Okay, so I'll do that now. I'll put, oh. It
When I
does
have
not want to
20
move. There you
windows
go. Okay, there we go. And then where is my share screen?
The bottom
Okay,
row.
yep, there it is. Okay,
Window.
so this is the one I want. I don't know if it's gonna, no?
Good enough, I guess. We have just the tab now.
Oh, geez. Okay, you know what? Let me just close everything else. That's probably the easiest thing to do. Or move them all somewhere else. Sorry, I'm not an expert at this stuff. This is
Not to worry.
beyond my skill set, obviously. There it is. So there's just an error message that I get, and it says, failed to log plugin URL, and then it gives you a website, and then it says W content themes, and then short codes. And I just don't know what to do with that.
Okay, so let's see that page.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to that. Okay, there you are. And try the share screen again. And when I click on, that's the one, share. Can you see it? No?
Yeah, we got it.
Yes, that's
Okay, there we go. So I don't know if you can see that little pink in the middle of the page. It says failed to log. So that I can't do anything with this page. Like when I try to edit it, it just, nothing happens. Can you see it at all, or?
Yeah, we're looking at it.
Okay,
So there's obviously something wrong with your themes. Failed. Okay, so there's a plugin required by your theme, which is not loading for some reason.
okay. Like all the other pages I can edit, just not this page. This is my home page. It just completely, nothing happens. I don't get this error message on any other page. Well, so far I don't get it on any other page.
Can you do something just to check to make sure that this JavaScript, which is what's referred to, if you take the URL from where it has HTTPS to the end where it says .js, I think.
Okay.
And then just open a new tab,
Okay.
enter that, and let's see if it comes back with something to make sure that it is available. And for some reason it's not loading, or it's not loading because it's not available.
It says that page can't be found. Page not found. That's the message I get.
Well, why would it seems a bit strange that the theme developer would have, well, I mean, would have the JavaScript plugin in this fashion, but so Drew, can we conclude from that it's the source it's a problem at source, that JavaScript file is not being found and therefore can't be loaded?
Yeah, it's just something missing from the theme files. What I would do is might be worth checking to see if there is an update for your theme.
I've updated the theme. I keep my plugins up to date. Yeah. And I've kept the theme up to date. So there's the 7. This is it here. It's called the 7. And you know, as far as I know, it's completely up to date. I'm not getting any thank you for updating to the latest version. So I do have the latest version. Okay, so it's important to notice you have an updated version of the 7. I keep updating it. It keeps giving me the same stupid message.
Well, that suggests that the theme is not, the update is not being completed satisfactorily.
Okay.
Now, what you could do is you could go and look at the theme, the theme file, its theme folder itself, and look at the dates and see if they look like the updated version's dates or whether they look like some older version, because the mechanism that does the updates may not be working for some reason. But Drew, what do you think?
Well, when you update the theme, what kind of response do you get? Do you get an error message when you actually do the update?
Well, I just clicked it now, so.
Okay. All right. And
it says, and right underneath it says the database update complete. Thank you for updating the latest version.
Okay.
But still above it, it still says you have an updated version of the 7. So I get
Refresh
both
the page
messages.
just to be sure.
Sure.
go to.
I'm just gonna
dashboard.
refresh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah, so it gives me the same message. I got both of them. I got a red and a green, both at the same time.
Okay,
Mhm,
let's go to the dashboard.
Okay.
And updates
mhm.
and scroll down. Okay, so this is not your updates. No, this is we're going to go to the updates page.
This is updates, okay. Not getting, I'm clicking on it, nothing's happening. There it is, update, okay.
Okay, plugins, scroll themes. Okay, all right. Hmm.
But this is not the theme that's here is not the one I'm using. This 2022, that's not the theme I'm using.
All right.
But so the theme is considered updated as far as this page is concerned, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's not showing that it's outstanding at all.
And in plugins, which two plugins are not have not
they're-
yet been updated?
They're Yoast, they're paid
Oh, right,
ones.
they don't need to look at them. They're
Yeah,
they're
those
not
are
part
just,
of this issue. I don't
right,
think.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this is, when I go to this, yeah, it says current version is sufficient.
Wait a sec, that's 7. This is for your PHP version, right?
Yeah,
7.4.33. That
Mhm.
is no longer supported.
no,
No,
No, you should
That-
be, you should try. I don't know whether it's 8.0 or 8.1 or that doesn't necessarily relate to this problem at all. Just
Okay.
it was a completely separate point.
try to update my PHP anyway.
If you go to your site health page, it should have a warning that the version you're using of PHP is no longer supported and doesn't receive security updates.
So where do I've never gone to that page.
Where's site health, guys, on the menu? It's price settings at the very bottom.
Okay.
This print's so small.
I know, sorry.
Keep scrolling.
Yeah, I'm here, it's, okay, so.
Oh, general. One of those.
general?
It might be under tools.
Yeah,
Just
there's
up a
no-
bit, up a little bit to tools.
I don't see tools. General?
No, just two up, two more up. Right above WPVid.
Oh, tools, okay, separate, okay. Oh, site health, there it is, okay. Where did it go? Tools. I'm going too fast.
Yep.
Site health, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I keep, so again, you can see it saying update the theme. So I keep updating it and then it says it's not updated. So I get both
Okay,
messages
so
at the same time.
let's go to the site health though.
Yep. Tools.
No, it's down there in the sublet, in the list. Keep
Okay,
going.
there it is, okay. I thought I clicked it. There I did.
Right, but that's not being displayed yet.
Yeah, it's not displaying for me either.
It's going to say site health.
I've clicked site health, but it's not, nothing's happening.
Okay, you're right, it's up now.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's still loading. Okay.
Okay, so scroll down a bit.
So you have themes waiting to be updated is one critical issue. So let's
Okay.
have a look at that.
Okay. So you want me to, okay.
Right. Oh, okay, that was just the that was just the 2021.
That's right. Yeah, it's a different one.
Okay, yeah.
Is that not then what's being shown as you have a theme to be updated? Is that not the 2022 or whatever it is?
No,
they're
it's saying
talking
this-
about the built-in theme that
Yeah.
that needs to be updated. Not the
Oh,
it's
the
not
theme,
the
yeah,
active
I
theme.
see it now. It's not asking in that regard. Okay, so let's
I
scroll
have a
down this page a little
question.
bit more and see if, Drew, you finished with that one section?
Yeah.
So scroll down a bit and let's see what it says about PHP.
I have a question. What is the exact problem that you're facing? You're not able to change content on your homepage.
Yes.
Did you try clicking on the builder bakery?
Let me just
builder
finish
tool?
for, let's just finish with the site help page.
Okay, thanks.
The third from the bottom one, that some of the 7 element post types, what can be, what does it say there? Enabled?
Disabled.
Disabled. Okay, we don't care about that.
Mhm.
You have some posts from disabled post types. Your site does not use. I'm surprised it doesn't anything about PHP, guys, considering it's a 6.0 or 6.11 version of WP. I'm so bored seeing these PHP warnings that I just assumed that they were automatic across the board. Anyway, if a PHP version issue arises, it is because all the 7 dot something versions of PHP are no longer supported from any point of view, and therefore security updates are not generated. And it's the 8.0 and up that is both supported and has security, and is what WordPress recommends.
Yeah, I just don't understand why I can edit other pages, but just not that homepage. Like, it's the only one that's giving me a hard time. Well, at least right now.
Right.
Your homepage probably has a feature on it that requires that particular file.
Okay.
Now, Sanyam, I cut you off, or at least stop you interrupting, so please pick up what the point you wanted to make.
Sorry about that. I know I was just asking, I was not sure about the problems you're facing on the web.
Okay.
The homepage does not appear to be editable, and the error message refers to a JavaScript file, which when you try it as a standalone file, it reports that it cannot be found.
Yes, I'll go to the page and you can see the error message.
So, did you check the theme builder, the WP Bakery? Maybe that that is where you can make the edits to the page.
Sorry, what was the question?
Did you check the theme builder?
Theme builder? I don't know what that means, theme builder.
So there are like 2 options, front editor and back end editor. If you open the page, you can see there.
So
I guess you're saying go to appearance and select from the choice. Appearance is about midway down.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying right here, if you see there's a back end editor, if you click on that.
Yeah, when I do it, nothing happens. The page just freezes.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay. So I guess the main problem is that the theme builder is not working.
Wait a second. Why don't you try editing it with prod?
Well, because it tells me it tells me that switching to CPOD, the current page content will be replaced.
Okay, well, we don't want to do that.
No, yeah, I don't want to do that.
CPROD is for making like a coming soon or maintenance page, so that will not help.
Okay. Yeah, so now it's
actually it's a general page builder now.
Yeah, so I don't
focus on landing pages.
Right.
Because I mentioned earlier my limited experience with it.
Yeah, so that's
WordPress are we actually running here?
It says, well, it's 6.11. It says please update now, but it's 6.11. But I can
no, it's not 6.11. It says 6.11 is available.
Okay. Okay.
Let's go back into
okay, well, I've just updated it, so
wow, that's what's called cowboy programming or cowboy administration, right?
It's a click.
Yeah,
this is not a working website, so it doesn't matter.
It's all a little nervous now. You normally want to.
All right, so now that you've updated
update has not yet taken place. Update has not taken place. You've just come to the update page.
Right. So it's currently at 6:03. Yeah.
Which is weird because
you have to scroll down and then click on update. Yeah, there below that. Yeah. And it takes a while, and it is better to take a backup before you do that.
This is not a working, it's not a working, like this is just a building website, so it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have a backup too, so. Okay, so.
And perhaps when that's done, we should just check the homepage on the off chance that the error message is not
Okay,
still there and problems editing the site, but I suspect they will be unchanged.
yeah,
One
I mean,
thing
this is a
also-
minor update, right? It's a point.
yeah.
One thing I would also want to check is that the theme, wherever you have bought the theme, do you still have the support for update of that theme or not?
No, I bought the theme a long time ago. I've been sitting on this
So
website for years.
you may have to buy the latest update of the theme. Otherwise, it will not allow you to download the latest version.
Well, it's not a free theme, it's a paid theme. And so I get the updates.
No, you may have to still buy it because those updates are limited to a year or 6 months.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So you may have to buy the latest version. Only
Okay.
then it will update, and maybe that will fix the error.
Okay, I didn't realize
But no,
that.
I would say normally when you try to update a theme for which you no longer have a license or a valid license, then you get a message back, you know, you no longer have a valid license for this theme,
Right.
right? And so you didn't get that message. But you know what? It may be because this is a sort of one-man band developer.
No, the theme, this is a very big theme. It's a very,
No,
very,
I would differ on that. 7 theme is a very big theme with
Yeah, it's
lots
theme.
of installs.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think you will have to go to the theme page to check whether you have the subscription or not. You may not get an error otherwise.
So how do I do that? So I'm here at the 7. How do I get to the subscription?
Well,
Just,
it's the
You have to
price.
try that.
So click on this, my 7.
Yeah, just have a look at it.
Okay,
Yeah, it says right now that it's $39.
great. Okay, so
It's on theme 4, so I'll do that.
Yeah.
the theme is registered.
The best-selling theme. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a big theme. That's probably
No,
the
no, I
problem.
mean, there's thousands, tens of thousands of
Yeah.
themes.
Yeah.
Compatible with the WordPress, WooCommerce, Complete Live
Uh,
Theme Builder, and WooCommerce.
Robin, you're checking that page. Can you see what is the latest version mentioned on that page where you're looking at it?
Yeah, give me a second. Support's only 6 months.
Okay.
Last update, 27 January. And it is, doesn't say what version it is. Gutenberg optimized. Goodness. Software version 6.1x and 6.0x.
Can we scroll down a little bit?
Yeah, but I've gone all the way down and it doesn't, that sidebar on the right is usually where you find the version.
Okay, so, on the right?
Yeah, well, on the page in question, which is, I just put it in the chat window.
Okay,
So if you want to click on that and get a new page, which you just click on the link in the chat, it will open
Okay.
a new browser.
yep, I did that. Perfect.
And
okay.
then,
Okay,
I mean, unless I'm going blind, guys, I don't see what version the 27th of January was. Oh, here it is. Well, that's reviews, comments, well documented. Sold 280,000. That's impressive. Actually, for
I think the
39
latest
bucks.
version is 11.5, the 7th theme. Now we have to check
Where
what is
did you
our
find that?
version. If you just scroll down, you will see on that page, theme forestry.
oh, and people, it's at the
Scroll
very
down
bottom.
where? I mean, these pages can be quite long. You're saying it's somewhere buried in the page, or is it in the sidebar on the right?
It is buried in the page. If you just search what's new, you have to scroll down all the way and you get to see. The latest version is 11.5.0 on 21st.
Oh, I found it.
February.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, 11.5.0.
Yeah, so now we have to check what is our version and then make a comparison.
Okay, so where do I check that on mine?
We will have to do a little bit of trial error because even I'm
No,
not
you
too
just go
sure
to the
exactly what it
appearance
is.
tab or the appearance page, and the theme will be listed there. And it will, if you click on the info part, it'll pop up and tell you the version.
So I
You
I'm
want
on,
themes, click on themes.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Ugh. Themes. Okay,
Right, and find your theme. There it is, theme details,
okay.
theme details. And the theme is up there in the version 8 something.
No, 9.0.11.
Yeah. Which doesn't really, I don't know about you, but I mean, it doesn't tell me anything. If it's a whole version number different than the current version, then.
It is, it's much different. We're at
Right, but I'm just saying
11.5.
that that's the incentive to update is the fact
I
that
see. Oh, I see.
you're back a ways. It could be a long ways, or it could be, you know, it's sufficient though to seriously consider doing the update before spending a
Well,
lot
so
of
I
time.
don't understand the difference between, so if I buy it again, I have to reinstall it again? Like, I don't understand
No, you
that.
just,
No,
you buy
uh,
it, you get a license key,
you have to
and
just buy the
somewhere in
support.
the installation of the theme,
Okay,
specifically tell you, here's where you go to put your license code. And when you enter the license code, then it said, aha, you're good to go.
oh, but Sanyam just said I just need to buy the support. Is that what you just
You don't
said?
have to.
No.
You don't have to pay the entire price of the theme. You have to just buy the support. So you get another 6 months.
But why
Okay, and
why would they support a version 9 when 11 is current?
No, the point is that if you pay for the support, because you have already bought the theme once, and now if you pay for the support, you will get the latest version.
Okay, is that the way it works? Okay,
No,
Yeah.
no, that isn't the way it works. And I think that's poor advice. I'm afraid that first you have to
Okay.
buy the license.
Sir,
But I already have
Install the
it.
license.
she already has the license.
I already
of
have a
Theme
license.
Forest.
Yes, but the license that you're going to buy now is a new license, or at least a refreshed license that when you purchase it, I mean, presumably you had to log in order to buy the license originally, right?
Mhm.
Well, go back to use that login and see if there's an option to renew the license.
You know, I will send them, I'll send them a help and ask them what the solution is, if I have to buy it or if I can just buy support. And hopefully they'll tell me, how do I get
You
it
can-
updated
Anyway,
version?
I think you're wasting your time expecting support for an expired license.
Oh, but no, I'll just go into sales. I'll ask them from a sales perspective as opposed to a support perspective.
But how do they fix a no longer supported version? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, do what you like. I mean, I just think it's a waste of time.
Okay.
I would like to add a point here that we are maintaining website for a lot of companies and we use a lot of B theme. And for them, and we use Theme Forest a lot, which I guess you have also bought this from Theme Forest. So there, if you buy the license once,
Mhm.
and no matter what version you have, if you buy the support, they will give you the latest update. You can
Okay.
just try that. If that doesn't work, if they don't give you the latest version, then you can obviously will have to buy the new theme.
I'll go with the cheapest answer first, and if that doesn't work, I'll go to the, but I mean, it's not expensive. It's $40. It's not going to kill me one way or the other. But do you
Right.
think that's going to solve my PHP problem? Because you're saying it's,
Definitely not.
PHP has to be looked at from the server's perspective. So we'll have to go to your control panel
okay.
of your hosting.
Anyway,
and then over there,
let's not
you
go
have
into
to
that
do
now.
No, he's just
yeah,
explaining
that's
me to, he's just explaining to me how. So I have to go into control panel, get my server, get them to update my PHP.
Yeah.
Okay, I've
But
done that
you
before.
make sure that the website may break if there's some, so you may have to roll back. So just check that.
Right.
before.
So,
But like I said, this is not a working website, so it's not.
okay. Let me throw in my 2 cents. There's a plugin called PHP compatibility.
Okay,
And if you get that free plugin, run it, it will come back with a report and tell you if you have any plugins or themes that are incompatible with the current version of PHP.
okay,
If it comes back clean or comes back with a few that you can fix or update, then you know you're good to do an update. And the update's got 2 parts. One is at the server end through your host, and the other is on the site itself.
okay,
In both cases, go to a site called WpBeginner and enter update PHP, and you'll get a very nicely presented tutorial
okay.
on the relatively simple process to update PHP in those 2 areas, and then you're off and running.
Yeah, I can just get my service provider to do that for me. I'll just ask them to update the PHP.
Well, I mean, it is a self-serve sort of world in that regard, and there will be a PHP link somewhere in your hosting panel.
It's okay. I can just ask them to do it. That's what support's for, and they'll do it.
All right,
I've asked them to do it before, and they do it. So
okay.
not a big deal.
Is that going to help you then modifying the site?
No, but it'll take care of the PHP problem, and then I can, one problem
I'm
at a
saying
time.
Well, anyway, you do what you like, but
Yeah.
PHP at the server end is not sufficient. But
No.
work it out then.
Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I thought it was a problem at.
The server is the one where the change has to be made, but the
Okay.
site has to know what version it's
Okay.
running on
Okay.
as an internal matter. And
Okay.
therefore you have to tell it what version you're running on for the change to occur.
Okay.
And that's why even if you want to use the host to change at the server end, it's not a bad idea to have some vague inkling as to why and what you're doing. And that's why the WP Beginner is a good place for tutorials of that kind.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
All
So
right,
are you
thank
in
you.
good shape now?
Well, at least I have an idea of where to start looking and trying to figure this problem out. Because I'm stuck. I can't do anything until it gets resolved. Especially since it's my landing page. If it was any other page, if it wasn't my home page, I could just rebuild a new page, but that one's critical. So.
Right. But I don't know about you, but it seems to me the updating the theme and or getting support is probably pretty straightforward.
Okay,
as
I'll
a
do that.
solution.
I will do that. Thank you.
Just
We'll
to
start
give
with the
you a little
easiest first.
encouragement in that regard.
Yes, I will start with that. Like I said, it's $40 for a new theme, so it's no big deal.
Right.
It's not gonna break the bank. So
Good thinking.
yeah.
Okay, if you'd like
Okay.
to end your share screen,
Yes, thank you.
and unless there's someone here with a urgent, relatively short problem to resolve, we're just about at the end of our allotted time. We spent a lot of time on the first one, but I thought that it was instructive in terms of how to think through a problem in a series of steps. And I just read a great, there's a particular Mac, or at least Apple guru out there, whose name is Howard Oakley, who's really a phenomenal blogger in the Mac world. And he happened just in a post today to critique using ChatGPT or one of the AI resources to diagnose Mac or iOS problems. And he said, here's a list of things that you should look at and think about when you're evaluating advice about solving a problem, a technology problem. And one of the points that he made, which I thought was really good, was the notion that you start off with the smallest possible sort of solution that takes the least amount of time, and then work up to more complicated solutions that take more time. And finally, when all else fails, a generic solution like, reinstall your operating system, which in the example of ChatGPT advice that he evaluated, he said, this is terrible, incompetent advice because they start off with the most onerous and generic solution, reinstall your operating system. And he said, that's a simple example of incompetent advice. Anyway, so just the procedure then I'm referring to is the simplest solution is starting off with a theme and trying to sort of fix it that way, and then go to harder and more complex things only if that one doesn't pan out.
I like to think of ChatGPT as information recycling. It's basically pulling everything from the internet, juggling it around and giving it back to you.
Well, in fact, some of the more capable people doing evaluations of ChatGPT, one of them was saying just a few days ago, your best bet is to consider this as entertainment, because the quality of advice, if that's what you're looking for, is so low as to be really laughable. At best, it's the notion of an idiot savant, someone who can come up with incredible answers, but can't tie their own shoelaces or tell the time of day. But they can do, multiplications of 20 digits by 20 digits. Well, that's really impressive, but not much of use. Question, guys, is there any free theme that allows you to do more customization? You want to take a shot at that, Drew?
Well, you can do quite a lot with one of the themes that we saw earlier today, the Hello Elementor theme with the free version of Elementor. You can do quite a bit of customization on that. You can do quite a bit of customization on Astra. It's quite good. Generate Press is another great free theme that's very customizable.
Jack would suggest Ocean WP. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's too bad Jack's not still here because there was some drama about Ocean WP that the original developer of it sold it to somebody else and then didn't like what the new owners were doing, and
We cloned it.
yeah.
If you Google best free theme WordPress and then look at the hits that you get, say pick the top 3, display them in 3 tabs, and then just look at the lists themselves. Don't bother with the details, but you'll find in their list of top 10, 6 or 7 of them are the same in all 3 lists. So I would start by looking at those top recommendations that appear on the top 3 most popular lists and see what you like or find. But they will all have as much customization as you could ever want. Given the fact that popular themes of the kind that you'll see recommended have the capability of allowing Gutenberg pages to be created, or Gutenberg pages and posts, and that gives you an alternate mechanism that can work quite nicely for you as time goes along. There are lots of themes that can't work with Gutenberg, and that's a kind of a short-sighted view of theming. But the ones that Drew has referred to all have some sort of a view of how to integrate with Gutenberg. Cadence, for example, is one that Jack would recommend and that I would recommend because that's one that I'm using. Cadence has a free version of the theme and a free version of its plugins, and then a paid version of both. And it is very nicely put together. And if you do go with the paid version, the things that are added on are, quite impressed. I was quite impressed. Whether it's form building or conditional components, that is to say, you build something that you want to reuse and you want to set a condition for when it's reused. Is it the time of day? Is it the particular page, category? Is it the role that the person plays? It's just a really handy thing to have, especially when you don't have to do it as a separate plugin, but rather something integrated into the theme. But as I say, Cadence might appear on 2 out of the 3 lists of recommended themes, or on all 3, I don't know. I haven't looked recently. But Googling, best free theme in WordPress or WordPress theme will take you to review articles that are, intended to provide guidance of that kind and basically hit the most popular by number of active installs, which is a good measure, right? Anything to add, Drew, or are we ready to wind up?
I'm just going to have a quick look at the site that Karel is talking about, and see what theme he's using.
Everybody wants this.
Using a theme called Zakra, which I'm not familiar with. So I'm guessing, Karel, that you are not happy with the current theme. what is it that you want that this theme doesn't do?
There we go. Karel's just unmuting now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So can you repeat the question?
Yes, what is it, you were looking for a new theme for your site?
Yeah, the thing is my site is kind of, you know, like I said, I'm fairly new in the WordPress stuff. And I'm trying to make like a website for my business. So I'm finding like all the things that I trying to, is one thing when you see the theme in the online, they see preview or live preview and it looks beautiful. And then when I try it, I don't know if it probably because the image that I have or the, I don't know, the content, it looks like crap. So when I try to customize any of them, there is no way. It looked like a website made by a 2-year-old kid. So that's what I'm having challenges with.
Sorry, what we didn't hear which themes you were referring to that you've tried.
Oh, I try a whole bunch of them. I try, oh, hold on. Most of them like free because, you know, I don't.
Right, but some of these free ones, I mentioned Cadence earlier, and I'm not specifically touting them, but they do have, for example, what they refer to as startup templates, which enable you to get a sort of design, choose from any, I forget now how many they've got, 25 or 30 or 40 startup site templates, which enable you then to start off with something that looks just exactly like their marketing. The one thing to be careful about, I found, is that themes, of course, are respond to your page width, or the width of the tab that you're looking at the theme in, and that sometimes they're incredibly wide relative to what you're used to using yourself. So if you don't give them the width that they expect and are designed for, then they won't display in a way that's familiar to you looking at the startup template image. Cadence, for example, like many other, or at least some other theme developers, provides a demo site for every startup template so that you can actually look at the thing as if you'd installed it already and save yourself the trouble of installing it just to find out what it does. So if you're looking at themes, you're looking for startup templates or site templates or whatever, and then looking to see, do they allow demos? Because that's so much easier on you. The alternative is to get one of these free instance sites that are specifically set up to give you an instance of WordPress to try something out, like a new theme. And then when you're done, the site's just deleted. I think it's InstaWP is one of the popular ones. And there's another one I just recently started using, the name escapes me. But they are sites, they're services which enable a new instance of WordPress, i.e. a site, to be created that is only for you to use to try out plugins, themes, or whatever. And then when you're done, there's nothing for you to clean up.
Yeah.
Also, Karel, I just posted a link to a WordPress plugin called the Astra Starter Sites plugin, and it's a whole bunch of pre-built sites that you can install on your site. It'll download the theme and it'll download any required plugins for it. And so they've got things already put together for you. So if you install that plugin, it will bring up a whole list of these sort of pre-built template sites that you can choose from.
Okay. Because I have it, for example, like a quick site, just to finish. this is one of the I know it's probably a dumb question, or it is kind of easy, a super easy question. But I was trying to, in this website, on my website, I don't know, like I said, I don't know this thing here, the sidebar. I don't know how to get rid of that thing.
Okay, just before we go on to that, I just, the link that Drew just provided, that's on starter templates. I have used this myself, and you don't need to install the theme. You have an option of installing the theme from the same developers, but you can use the startup templates without that theme, but rather with some other theme under, some conditions, I guess. I'm not sure it works perfectly in every case, but the point is that you have a vast number of these pre-made website templates. And you're not limited, therefore, to any particular theme in order to make use of them. Okay,
How well
so
do
just
they
with that,
work on?
bearing
if
that
you're
in
not using
mind,
Astra?
what was our problem here? What are we trying to fix?
Oh, and hold on. Let's see if I find it again. Just bear with me 1 second. Oh, you see here on the right side, it says sidebar right. I don't know how to fix that thing. I don't know how to get rid of that thing.
Right, and the theme here is which one?
Cadence, not the Sacra something. Hold on. This one.
So the print's so small there. Just tell me the name of the theme. Zebra, is that it? Active themes, is that zebra? Is that the word?
I read it as Zacra.
Zacra.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what we want to find is the template for this page, because the template will control what is in the sidebar, and therefore you're bouncing around an awful lot. I mean, just hang on for a second.
We can check the layout over here.
What?
Right, but we're looking at a page or a post, right? And that's not where you can deal with a sidebar. A sidebar is a template component, right? So what you have to do is find the template that the homepage uses, open up that to see its layout, find the sidebar, which should appear just where belongs on the right side of the page. And then if you delete that whole component, it'll be gone. But you're not going to do it from the page you're on now, for the reason I just gave you, that it doesn't contain the header and the footer and the sidebar, which are template elements. Okay, so just stop for a second. You're just bouncing around to no point. Okay, so let's click on appearance.
Okay.
And let's try customize. Any disagreement in terms of the process, Drew, that we're looking for the template that homepage uses, which will normally either be home or index or something like that,
Well,
right?
I would look under widgets.
There we are, sidebar right.
Oh, okay. So it's well,
there's no, this is where
Mm.
this is where you go to put something in the sidebar, but this would not give you the option to remove the sidebar.
Yeah, that's why I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would go back a couple steps to where it says global and see if it goes
Layout,
back on layout. Try layout.
sidebar layout.
That's not what we want, but let's just check, go back. The one before that, and container. I don't know.
It was in the layout. Go back one step. Yeah, sidebar layout.
Well, I don't know why you think that would enable you to delete it.
Yeah, the first
It is
one.
for single. Yeah, the page, right? We can change the page and remove the over here. Yeah, if you click on this, it will work.
There you go. See, that was easy.
Sorry, what was easy?
It removed the sidebar thing.
Yeah, but like, show us how, because I wasn't watching right there. Was it the settings
Yeah, it
icon
was
at the
here-
top?
It was here with say page. I had it here.
Oh, right, right. In other words, the layout is a page with no sidebar,
Yeah. That's
which
what
I've
I
got to
did.
say is, doesn't seem like a particularly sensible way to do things, but if it, you know, if it gets the job done, why not?
There you go. I
I
don't need
mean,
a sidebar for
the
now.
layout of the sidebar is not what we're looking at here. You know, a page with no sidebar. That's not the layout of the sidebar, is it? It's the layout of the page.
Yeah, no, he's
Anyway, not to argue. It's just that to find the answer in this place suggests that this is a theme that's going to send you on a few interesting trips, trying to figure out what it's doing.
Yeah.
If this is the way they think a layout is, I guess the first and most important point is that it's modifying a template without talking to you about it. And so therefore, you know, that's not particularly good.
Yeah.
You should be able to understand with a theme when you're using a template, well, that you're using a template in every instance of a page or a post, and that certain elements in those pages and post layouts contain components which are template specific, and that you know, in order to know where to go to do anything with them, that sort of concept is important. Am I wide of the mark, Drew? I mean, this seems to me straightforward.
Well, you know, we can argue about how the theme developer developed the theme, but you know, it doesn't really make any difference. This is how they did it.
Right, but I'm just saying that from the point of view of how you figure these things out, this is it seems like a strange place. Wait a second though. That where do we click? Which one was the page layout without the sidebar? Was it which one was the click that you, which one of these did you click on? No, go back to where you were. Because
The
which
one
one you
that
click?
said, I had it here. You see it say page?
Okay,
I had it here. You see the
so
sidebar?
here's my point, that you click page and you think you're done. Right? So now when you go to a post and you see that the sidebar's there, you can come back to this page and try again. But you won't know why you're doing it. You just know that you have to do it. But the answer is that page and single post and blog archive, those are templates. And they're showing you the one aspect of the template here, the sidebar component of the template. So when you click the button on page, you've removed the sidebar from the page template only.
Yeah.
I just, to me, that's pretty important to know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
I get
So you'll
no
still-
support at all in that regard.
So you'll still see the sidebar in your posts, for example.
Or your
on
homepage.
Or you're on your archive pages.
And
No,
on
you
your
won't
homepage.
see- You won't see it on the homepage.
Why
Unless
not?
Unless the homepage has a separate listing here, I don't think it does.
Well, normally the homepage has,
The homepage is
oh,
just
sorry,
a
it's
page.
either home or home/archive or, you know, page. Right, as a specific template for the homepage. I mean, many sites that have starter templates give you a specific, you know, front page or home page that's not the home/archive for a blog. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's why in the settings for the site, they distinguish between using the blog archive page for your homepage or a static homepage. Click and then select the page in
Well,
question.
let's scroll this screen up. Can you scroll that column up a bit? default, okay. Well, that's interesting. So you can, with this default, you can actually turn the sidebar off for everything.
Yeah,
That should do it.
yeah.
But you know what? That's not a template though, which is fine. And perhaps the instructions are really clear on this, and that would be great. But it, having this default setting and then followed by a bunch of templates is just a terrible practice. But in any event, be that as it may,
Yeah.
we've solved this problem.
And this is a problem with themes, is that every theme developer does their configuration options in their own way and adds their own set of features. And so for each new theme, we have to basically learn WordPress all over again.
Yeah, that's
Well, actually, that's why in the changes that are underway in terms of WordPress core, they're making a real effort to, well, at least they're proposing that there be enough support for theme developers to be able to use the UI components that the Gutenberg project has created, so that this issue of every theme has its own UI is addressed. And that fellow at Yoast, whose name I forget, it's not quite Yoast, but similar. He wrote a post in the last month or so that complained about the poor quality of the WordPress UI and said that they'd revise their UI for the Yoast plugins to be much cleaner and nicer and modern and everything else. And that here's the link to the free library of our UI components, with the objective of offering something to standardize on for theme developers. And so that's the recognition by some, at least, that this incredible plethora of user interfaces for theme customization is really punishing to users.
Yeah.
In the same way that in the old days, we didn't have either startup templates or demo sites. And therefore, the gap between what you thought you were buying in a theme and what it looked like when you first installed it were, night and day difference. That gap is greatly narrowed, but it still exists. Maybe it's night and dawn now rather than night and day. Any final words, guys? We're the last three.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, nice to meet you. Come back again.
Thank you. Well,
Take care, guys. Signing off.
Okay. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.